I know we're running over short, and David knows he can rely on me to be short and sweet, although physically very tall, not short, which is very odd in my culture. In my community, a tall girl stands out like a sore thumb. My talk was going to be a bit longer, and I think it's all changed around a little bit now. So my name is Ansa. I'm the CEO and founder of Hope Support Services, and we have some of our team members here today as well. Simon, give us a wave, our operational manager, and Gloria, our events and marketing manager over there. I really feel this is something really close to my heart. All the topics that have been discussed up until now, I kept thinking, it was triggering constantly. There was a reminder, a memory, a flashback of something coming up for me at each point. But I want to keep it close to what hope does. So I'm going to give you little examples of how I experienced racial prejudice. I was in a delivery suite. I'd just given birth to my second baby at 22 weeks. Beautiful girl, who I was told would not survive. She lived for 45 minutes and died on my chest. At that point, my ex-husband had been stood for over 22 hours, and we asked for a birthing mat for him to lay down on. And we were told that he should be used to sleeping on the floor where he comes from. This was in the city of Leeds, the Leeds Teaching Hospital Trust. It's just to give you some concept that happened in 2008. So we're not that far back in the dark ages. This was quite recent. And this was a senior white midwife who everybody in the professional team around her were frightened of. They were shocked. They didn't speak up, so they were being bystanders. And I was vulnerable. I'm a very confident person, and I said pomegranate, didn't I, at the beginning, my fruit. I come across very confident, very strong, but inside, any woman who's going through labor becomes vulnerable. And when you add on extra layers of language barriers and everything else, it makes it even more difficult. So anyway, that was my journey, and why I started Hope, because I'm the proud mother of 11 children. 9 of them are rainbow. And I couldn't find any support. I was being asked by counsellors to translate for my partner to do couple therapy for bereavement and loss, which is highly unethical, and I know that as a trained and qualified registered counsellor now myself. It's absolutely unethical to ask that of your client. And I felt, why is there no support for my people, for women like me, from my culture? Why am I having to sit in a counselling session and explain to somebody my beliefs around voodoo, my beliefs around demonic possessions, my beliefs of why my culture are isolating me because the stigma and shame and not being allowed to talk about my loss, because it's dishonourable to talk about pregnancy because it relates to sex. And it's considered shameless. And these are the kind of stigmas and barriers and prejudices that I have been fighting for nearly 2 decades. And I wanted to make a safe space for other people to sit around a table and feel heard and validated and feel that their hurt, their genuine hurt, is valid. And it doesn't matter what walk of life you come from. So I'm proud to say that Hope Support Services are very inclusive, diverse, multilingual, nationwide, and I have an amazing team of qualified, registered counsellors, psychotherapists, psychologists, coaches up and down the country from different walks of life, from all the colours of the rainbow. And I'm proud of that because for me, humanity comes first. You see me, you see the hijab. And some of my Muslim friends here in my community will even shame me for the way I'm dressing today. Because, oh, she's wearing a scarf on top and look how her legs are unsure. No, at the end of the day, my faith is in here, and it's between me and my God, not between anybody else. And the one thing I love about Islam more than anything is that it's about teaching us to be compassionate and loving to each other as one race, as one organism. So for me, humanity comes first. And I say this to everybody, that I encounter, that we should be kind to each other. We should be compassionate to each other. That is the basis. As a true Muslim, that's what we should be doing. That's what I say to my community. And I say this to everybody from every community, that we are all part of one group. So I'm going to try something fun. I know this has been quite a heavy topic. So I just mentioned a few barriers. I know, David, I wanted to go into so much, but I'm not going to go into all of them. So I want to try something fun, a quick psychological sort of testing, which really works. And I've done this on the radio many times before to try and break that stigma of mental health and try to reach out and talk about something which is really difficult. Even the word mental in Punjabi or Urdu or South Asian languages translates as crazy, which is why they don't like to talk about mental health much, because it's so stigmatized. So I try to ice break the topics with something different. So I'm going to try it here today. I want you to think of your favorite color, whatever your favorite color is. And you can write this down. It's a really good little quick test that you can do. So we're going to ask you to write it down, if you can anywhere, your favorite color. But I want you to write down 3 words why it's your favorite color. Not sentences, words. So 3 words why it's your favorite color. Then I want you to write your favorite animal and why it's your favorite animal. Again, 3 words, not sentences. And finally, the last question you're going to answer is, I want you to, I'll let you finish the first 2 questions actually, because the last one's good to do together. And you're going to be a little meditation, sort of closing our eyes and getting that breathing in place to be able to imagine what I'm asking you to answer for the final question. So I think I give you another minute, 60 seconds. Okay, so the final question, I'd like everybody to please uncross your body. I want you to straighten your body. If you're sat down, I want you to straighten your body, so don't cross your arms, don't cross your legs. I'd like you to close your eyes, get into a relaxed position. Just listen for my voice. I'd like you to take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Follow that breath down. And when you breathe out, I want you to exhale through your mouth, really slowing down that breath. And again, breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Upon the 3rd time, I'd like to visualize that you are surrounded by bright white light, all above you, around you, below you. And I want you to sit in that space for a moment, floating, sitting, laying, however you feel yourself. And I want you to feel how it makes you feel in that space. And I want you to describe it in 3 words, how it made you feel. And if you'd like to write the answers down for me, please. So this, I'm a very, I actually talk with my hands. Is this okay? I actually like to walk. I believe that feelings and emotions are very visceral. So I'm moving around. I hope you don't mind. I've come away from the podium. It was something about what Marina said when she was moving around. And I don't know if anybody knows much about psychosomatics, but you know, your body keeps a score of traumas and things. So I can't stay still too long. And it really fits well. Because every time I get idle, every time I stay still, I get triggered. I became an activist because I couldn't stand by and watch things when people talk about being bystanders. I wanted to ask a question, and I was going to mention something to Stop Hate UK. I'd seen 2 white mothers in the middle of pandemic across the house where my parents lived. I was there in a park, telling their girls to rip each other's eyes out, rip each other's hair out. I couldn't stand by. I came home and I took my kids out of the car, got in my drive and put my kids in, and I walked up to my rail fence, which was just across the road, in the drive of my dad's house, and I started shouting, and I started screaming, because I couldn't bear to see two children doing that to each other, and I couldn't understand how a mother could allow that to happen. And the mother was shouting back, came close to me. My dad's shouting at me, "Get inside, why are you getting involved?" Right? And I said, "Call the police, Dad." I shouted at this woman, she goes, "No, she started it first. Well, this is between them, it's a fair fight." And I went, "You're teaching your child to hurt another child. You're teaching your child to fight hate with hate." And she just looked at me and she went, "Oh, shut up, you fucking packy." And walked off. And I went, very clever, no wonder. And I just walked off, and I was raging, I was angry. I've always been like that. I've always been an activist. If I see something, I can't stop, I can't stand still. And I do put myself in the line of fire all the time. Including, my question to you was gonna be, I wonder what the statistics would be like in pandemic. What was the hate crimes like then? Because for me, walking into a local shop to get some biscuits, milk, tea, I experienced it a lot, including two white women walking in, being smiled at, "Hello, how are you, how's family?" And I walk in, okay, and I'm putting my scarf like this, because this is what I did a lot of the times, I just did that. And I walked in like that. They had no masks on. And I got told, "Excuse me, can you stop there please? Can you go back out and put a mask on?" And I said, "Good afternoon to you too, lady. Do you mind saying that to the two customers who walked in before me? Or is it just, applicable to me?" And she didn't know what to do, because she's probably got away with saying that loads of times and not been challenged on it. So yeah, just wanted to mention that to you, that there is lots of stories of hate and how the police were actually policing more brown and black areas, which was well known in the pandemic, and giving them notices and taking them in rather than everybody. There was a news article, and we did a webinar, Hope did a webinar online the first year, of how a little Muslim girl went missing, 14 years old, and the police were out, the family were out, and it was all in the tabloids, I think, talking about how police time had been wasted, people had been put at risk, all this money had gone down, and all these people on the frontline staff, their time was wasted, and all she'd done was gone to her family member's house because she was being oppressed by a Muslim family. This was a Muslim girl being demonised, and the family and the community being demonised. Yet a white boy, blue-eyed, blonde, went missing, and the whole force was out. Everybody in the neighbourhood were out, over 200 people, and it was celebrated. "We found him, well done," to over 200 people who got together. Oh yeah, because it's not a pandemic then, was it? It didn't cost anything to the front line at that moment, did it? This is the kind of prejudice and racism we're facing every day in our tabloids and in our day-to-day, which you grow up with and you get, sadly, accustomed to. So, coming back to the colours and the animals, I want to know if there's a brave soul in here who's going to share it with me and be willing to be psychoanalyzed with their answers. Yeah, yes, we've got a brave lady in the back in green. What was your favourite colour? Do we have a mic for her?
Pink.
Oh, wow. Nice, okay. And what were your 3 words for pink?
Warm, gentle and caring.
Warm, gentle and
comforting.
caring.
Caring, comforting.
You're going to give me 3?
Okay, yeah.
Warm, gentle and caring.
Yeah.
The colour signifies what we look for in what we're attracted to. So when you pick the colour and you're answering the colour, you're actually talking about what you look for in a spouse or a partner. What you're attracted to in terms of friends, your close friends, who you get on with, who your clique group would be, if you like. So the warm, the gentle and caring, you like somebody who's very emotionally available, very open and honest, very protective. In terms of, when I talk about provision, I get the sense of being held up or scooped, but not just physically, I mean in every aspect. Financially, mentally, physically, emotionally, in all aspects. Somebody that you can rely on, even though you use really soft words, you want a rock. That's what that signifies. What was your favourite colour? I mean, animal.
Animal. I picked dog.
Okay. 3 words. Why it's your favourite?
Faithful, loving and fun.
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Miranda.
Miranda. When you pick an animal, you're describing yourself.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm like a dog. That's lovely, that.
You are absolutely stunning, Miranda. You are nothing like a dog. And dogs are beautiful. I'm not cussing the dogs out there either, okay, in their own right. But what you described was your personality in terms of how loyal you are as a person, okay, faithful you are, how honest and congruent. Congruent is honest in therapeutic terms, in terms of your feelings. You're a very visceral person, very outspoken as well. You cannot do fake. That's from your responses. The dogs are not fake. If a dog likes you, he's going to tell you he likes you. If he hates you, he's going to tell you he hates you. So the fact you went for that animal signifies a lot in terms of how you are. You will fight to protect your own, you know. But at the same time, you're very, very much a caring and gentle and nurturing person when needed. Okay, so the last one, light. When you were surrounded by bright white light, 3 words to describe how it made you feel.
I put gentle again and high and strong.
So the light is about spirituality. And I say this for everyone, whether you have faith or not. Every one of us has a living source of spirit inside us. The plants, the animals, even the rocks, the mountains, the grass, and us as human beings. So it's about your moral gauge. It's about you as a good or a bad person, evil or good, or whatever word you want to look at it, and how you'd feel. If this was a faith-based group, I'd say, are you ready to meet your maker? If you were to die today, would you feel comfortable that you've done enough, that you're a good person, that you are a good person? So it's a moral gauge. So if you want to get to know somebody, and I say this to a few of my friends in the past when we're looking, you know, arranged marriages, what can you ask the guy in 3 minutes, 5 minutes that you're given by dad to go speak to him? Yeah, ask him these 3 questions. Come back to me and I'll tell you the answers. So thank you very much, Miranda. A big round of applause for Miranda for being so brave. So now I'm going to open it up to you guys. Any questions, any feedback that you guys want to give? What's that, sorry? Yes, I think, Heather, did we not put it up on here? Did we not have it, our website details on our page for us? There are flyers. I bought some leaflets in for me. They're on my table. My card is there as well if anybody wants to connect with me outside of this afterwards. You can come online. We actually got a new website being built as we speak, hopefully, that will have our new AKA name, Hope Support Services, because we've expanded. We started off as a bereavement support group, and I did that for 7 years without funding. I actually was, in another life, an area manager for a corporate bank, and I managed 3,000 people. So for me, that was my job. And I did this part-time, and I went part-time with them, and I really drove myself to do better for myself and for my people, for my community. And that means everybody in my community, not just my Muslim brothers and sisters, but my brothers and sisters in humanity. And I hope if anything you take away from me is that hope is for everyone. And it should be for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really, 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 really appreciate